Hey everyone, it's Danae or Hanawa, whichever one you want to call me. It doesn't really matter to me, whichever one you prefer. Today we are going to be doing a storytime video on my hiking trip that I had taken about a month ago. I mentioned in my last video that I was actually going to talk about my hiking trip, so I managed to kind of make some time to do that today. So let's get right into it. So about a month and a half ago, me and my friend Melanie went out and we kind of planned kind of spur of a moment type deal situation, whatever you want to call it, a hiking trip. So we thought, you know what, this Sunday we're off, we should go out and we should find a place and we can hike. Personally, I had never really been on a hike before, but I knew that it was something that I really needed. Didn't really think anything, about, where we could hike. Didn't really think much about it. I was totally a noob in the situation, so I wasn't really sure what to do, where to go, or what to take. Melanie, however, she had experience in hiking, so she kind of helped me as far as like what materials to bring and stuff. I, on the other hand, had to search on the internet as far as what places in our state, in Louisiana, that we can hike. Granted, Louisiana is a very green area, green state. I never really expected that it was a state known for beautiful trails and beautiful places in the forest to hike. Luckily, I was actually able to find the perfect place within 2 to 3 hours of a driving distance. And, especially in like central Louisiana, there are so many beautiful places even I didn't even expect that were very, very wonderful, beautiful places to hike. So we chose the Kisatchie National Forest, which is in the middle of North Louisiana. The perfect place for us to hike because it wasn't that long of a drive. We got up early in the morning. We were able to drive out there, and very quickly we were able to get access to, setting our stuff up and going out and hiking in the trail. So the trail, there were about I want to say 7 trails within the forest, or at least it's what I saw on the map. I'm not really sure. I mean, I may need to go back and look at that on their website, but the trail that we hiked on was the Bone Trail, and it actually separated into 2 different types of trails. When we go again, we're going to go on the second trail, but the trail in total was about, I want to say, 11 miles, so it would have been a good 10-hour hike for an entire day. So we definitely did not do that. We actually stopped about quarter way through, and then we went back and left. So in total it was about a good 4 or 5 hour hike. We came across a lot of, well, not a lot of difficulties, but it was a few issues. Definitely some Laura Croft moments. Considering that, I don't know, maybe I almost died. We'll get into that a little later, but I just want to let y'all know my little experience on my first hike. Anyways, so, going through, I want to say like maybe 30 minutes into hiking, it was very, very hilly, like, a lot of rocks. It was also very muddy, so I was totally not prepared as far as the shoes that I was wearing. Unfortunately, I could have worn better shoes, but I didn't. I was wearing my Nikes, and it was a total mistake. Granted, I mean, you can wash your shoes and they'll come out just fine. Oh my god, I literally like should have thought this through. I don't know why I didn't, because like it's like so easy to look up weather in other places in your state. I didn't do that, and for that, I mean, I I was miserable all night. Oh my god. So it was very muddy, but I was able to get over it. I was like, you know what? It's beautiful. It's beautiful out here. You know, it's like very silent. You know, when you hike for the first hour, it's very like not a lot of woods, but a lot of trees. Like not a lot of forest, like greenery forest, but a lot of trees. It was mostly just like rocks and hills that you had to climb and you had to jump down. And so that was like the first hour and a half. Then we get into the actual like forest area where it's like literally leaves in your face. You have to kind of like make your way through the trail of, you know, forestation around you, and it's like very like not heavy humidity, but it's like humidity to where like you feel it. It's like you feel that your hair is kind of getting bigger. You start like not necessarily like coughing or it affecting you badly. You can just feel the humidity and you can kind of like feel it in your clothes, and it was just like a very weird experience at first. Um, but the wonderful thing is that like there wasn't a lot of wildlife, which I would not like for my first hike. I would never want to go in a place that has a lot of wildlife. I would not want to run into like snakes or bears or like wolves or coyotes or any of that crazy stuff. I would not enjoy that hike at all. So I am so glad that we actually hiked in a place with a lot of forestation to where not a lot of wildlife was there. Now, getting into, you know, like the good 2.5 hours into hiking, and we finally come across like our first problem. There is like a ravine within the trail of the forest that's like a river, but it's not like an official river. It's just like a land of water in this like mudded ravine along the trail, and it kind of circles all around wherever you're walking. And it's like kind of really scary because like you do not know what is in the water. And before going into the trail, there's no forest patrol in, you know, anywhere to where you can ask questions. And usually like I hear that like when you go hiking in some like national parks or forests, there's patrol out where you can ask questions, and they'll give you like manuals and like trip guides. They didn't have that. You know, no patrol was around, which I kind of found odd. So, but that's just me. Anyway, so the first problem we had was getting across to the other side of the trail where we needed to go, because there were in the middle of where we needed to cross was, you know, the land of water. It was the river that we needed to kind of get across to get to the other side to continue the trail. We could not find a way to get across it. We had to like kind of walk around and see if there was like a log that had fallen or someone had placed so that you can get across to that other side of land. There was no way that we were brave enough to get into the water or even test how deep it was in order to get across, because there's no way you're going to know what is in the water when that water is like literally, it's so mudded with clay that you literally cannot see even the surface of the water. That is how scary it is. Like you do not know what is in that water, and the current was so fast that it literally was like, if it was deep enough and you had fallen in, that current can seriously sweep you away in a second. Like it is so scary. Like there's no way we were brave enough to like test the waters. Like no. So we actually had to find an alternative and walk around the trail to find a log that we can go across. And we did this so many times in this trail, guys. Like, oh my gosh, it was so freaking scary that we had to cross so many logs in order to get to the next, you know, part of land to continue the trail. It was so freaking scary the many times that we did it. I am so surprised that neither of us got hurt, but I am so grateful for it. Anyways, So we finally find a log. We, get across. We high five each other. We're so proud of ourselves. We're like, oh my god, we're such badasses. Oh my god, did you see that? Oh my god, you did so great. Oh, did you see me? Oh my god, like total Lara Croft moment. Yeah, we were like bragging and acting dumb. But we thought we were badasses simply because we crossed a log. But hey, it was pretty cool. I still think we're badasses for it. Continuing on to the trail, actually, we come across an even bigger problem than the first, and it was so like one of the logs that we were wanting to cross was, I don't know how to like say this, but it was like submerged in the water. Yeah, not completely, like it was like, you could tell that the log was about, I want to say this thick, and it was like about pretty wide, but part of it was like submerged in the water, and only like about, I want to say this width of the top was, not submerged in water, so you could actually see where you're going to walk if you were to, walk on it and walk across. And there were other limbs and trees and other, whatever you want to call it, other tree stuff that was toppled on it that you could see was due to the weather and the wind. And so we were like, okay, me and Melanie were like, okay, how are we going to come across this? How are we going to do this? This looks really scary. Mind you, like I said, I mean, the current of the water was like rushing. Like it was really fast. So again, it was really scary to like even walk across this log, even if you could see, a part of it, and you have to think, it's like if you do slip, you fall into the water. It's not like what, the log is like 15 feet above the water. It's like it's literally on the water, and I would rather walk on, a log that was like 15 feet above the water rather than on the water, like part of it being submerged in the water. Which we did. Like after we crossed that, we then crossed, an even bigger log that was 15 feet, above the water. But this one that was submerged in the water, I did not walk. I crawled. I literally went on all fours, and I like literally like crawled very slowly, like inched like a dog across. And it took like a good 30 minutes, but I am so glad that like Melanie is such a wonderful friend that she was patient enough to like walk me through it. So that was really awesome. So yeah, the last log that I want to talk about that we crossed was the one that I slipped on, and it was so freaking scary. Literally, like, well, this was not the last log, actually. This is like the second to the last one, but yeah. We had actually, before that, the quarter of the trail that we had hiked had ended because there was no way that we can cross the, I mean, this is like another part of the trail where it had stopped, or it was stopped by another body of water, but this body of water, we couldn't get around to see, if there were logs that we could, walk across like the last time. This was like an entire, like, good 20 yards. We could not even find logs anywhere. So there was no way for us to cross over it without there being like a bridge built or something. So me and Melanie, we looked at each other, we were like, well, I guess this is where our hike ends, we should go back. and you know, I'm so glad we actually like went back, because if we had found miraculously some way to actually go across the trail, it would have been another like 10-mile hike. We would have cried. We would have like, there's no way we could have like survived going that long of a distance. No way. So we went back, and going back was when we crossed that giant log. It was 15 feet above the ground. It was about that wide, and we had to walk across. And I'm so glad that this log was dry enough for us to be able to, you know, steadily walk across. My dumbass, however, somehow slipped and fell. But luckily I was able to hold on to the log, even though I was screaming and crying, and I was for sure convinced that this was like how I was gonna die. This is it. Like, this is how I die. You know, I'm all whatever. But luckily I was able to pull myself back up. I was able to like balance myself. Granted, I was like trembling so awfully. Like, I was like shaking, like traumatized. I was so scared, and I was like, I had tears in my eyes, and I was crying, and I was like balancing myself, and I was like only halfway across. So like, Melanie was talking to me through it, and it was fine. Like, we were able to, you know, walk across it, no problem. But if I had fallen, there is no telling how deep that water would have been, or what was even in that water, or even like, I mean, I know how to swim, but I'm pretty sure like, I've never swam in mudded water before. There's no way, like, I mean, there could have been like a snake to come and like strangle me or something crazy. I don't know, but like, oh my gosh, no, there's no way. And the current was so fast, and I've never, you know, swam in fast current water, so have no experience whatsoever swimming in that type of water. So I'm pretty sure, I mean, there was a good chance that, you know, it would have overcome me and I would have drowned. Just saying. So, next time we are definitely going to be prepared. We're bringing ropes, bungee cords, we're bringing hooks, the whole works, you know. There was a point in the in time in the hiking trip where I had fallen, actually. I fell into like shallow water. It was like a puddle. It was like a puddle. It wasn't like the actual body of river. It was like a puddle, and I thought that I could skip over it, but when I jumped off of the tree limb that I was like crossing, I slipped and I fell into that, and so like all of my legs got wet. And so my socks were, like, the entire hiking trip, my feet were like drenched. So yeah, but we're definitely going to be more prepared the second time, rather than the, you know, the last time that we went to hike. We're gonna bring second pair of clothes, second pair of socks, more food, more snacks, ropes, bungee cords, like the whole works. We're gonna be bringing the machete knives again. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for our next hiking trip. We're gonna be taking the second trail because, like I mentioned earlier, the Bone Trail that we hiked on in the Kisatchie National Forest actually separates into another trail about, I want to, yeah, 3.5 hours into the trail. It separates into, I forget the name of it. Excuse me. um, oh, excuse me. What is it called? Turbine? Turbine trail or something? I don't know. But we're going to be doing that trail the next time we do hike the boat trail again, and that's like a good, probably another 3.5 hour hike, so it would probably be a total of 6.5 hour hike rather than the 4 hour hike. that we did. But I mean, it was our first hike, so I think that like 4 hours is like the perfect hours of hiking. I mean, I really think that that was like our max timing in our hiking. So I really think that like 4 hours was fine. I think we can do 6.5 hours if we're more prepared. We just had to get up earlier in the morning because we were kind of running late. So yeah. So that's my little story tale that I wanted to tell you guys for my hiking trip. And yeah, I am possibly going to Akon. I'm contemplating. I don't even know, man. Next video is going to be 10 minutes of me saying so look forward to that. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Until the next video. I started streaming on Twitch, so follow me on Twitch and go on my Twitter for schedule updates because I'm going to be streaming tonight in about 1.5 hours actually. So yeah, I am going to be streaming cosplay work and Gunpla builds. See you guys later. Bye.